There's a distinction of souls in planet Earth, and not because there are some that are better than others, but simply because the way we have come into this planet is so that the ascension takes place in waves. And so those starseeds who are more equipped and have the capacity to hold the higher frequencies are here as the ground crew to solidify the crystalline grid that is being transmitted and crystallized at the same time as it is being lived. So we have come here with a series of codes that were not serving in the matrix three-dimensional grid precisely because we weren't here to live that grid. We were prepared to create, establish, and solidify the codes of the new earth. This means that it has been extremely challenging for these types of souls to exist in the three-dimensional matrix because we weren't here made for that. We weren't made for the 3D matrix. We were made with a series of codings that pertain to the new earth. And this is what's being born at this precise point in time. So the challenge is integrating this into the human vessel as we are very rapidly ascending and deleting or releasing the old baggage, the old debris, the work, the inner work bringer of the change that you are doing is not only a personal code and grid line for you, but for the collective as well. So what you are tapping into, your pains, your suffering, your challenges, your so-called problems, and the solutions that you are coming with, and the transmutation of that energy into the new cellular level of love, of unconditional acceptance, compassion, and purity of the innocence and the essence that you are doing also for the collective. So you have got such an important mission here in planet Earth. Why? Because what you have gone through is what the next waves of people in the ascension process of awakening are going to need from you, because they are going to face those same inner turmoil that you have been facing, and your transmutation of that darkness into the light is what empowers you and gives you the ability to be able to know how to handle the extreme process that you have been going through from the darkness and into the light. And so the other thing is that the level at which we experience these things is so different. So we all, humanoids in our human vessels, experience the same array of emotions, right? And we all have our stories. So we all have a specific, let's say, story that we are living, recreating, or repatterning, and that we are going through. The thing is that the bringers of the change came here with the capacity to be able to hold higher frequencies and light, and at a rapid and higher and sooner level than others. And so that's why we're the trailblazers. That's why we are the ones at the forefront who are going through tremendous pressure, just like a diamond, to transmute and transform this pain, these sufferings, these challenges that have been created from eons of evolutionary distortions at not only cellular level, generational level, imprints that have been recreated from the ego beliefs that have been ingrained in us generation after generation. Put your shoes on, don't talk too loudly, don't dance in public, yeah? But also the phenomenal amount of distortion that was embedded in us as souls, as a species, right? We come from Andromeda, we come from different planets that are already far more evolved than Earth. And so the cellular transmutation that took place within the whole phenomena of experimentation, etc., that's also being transmuted within us. And this Christ consciousness is helping us to anchor in the purity of our essence, the purity of love, of who we truly are, who we came here to be. So this is really what's happening in this whole process that we are all feeling at a phenomenal level, whether consciously or unconsciously. Those at the forefront are more conscious of it, and so are able to transmute this energy and work with it through the different skill sets that we have been given and we have been acquiring over time, as well as through the process of remembrance of who we are and of our God-sent power that allows us to do this inner work. Then the other waves, who are less conscious of this, are also going to go through this process, but at their own unique level. So there are some to whom maybe this process is totally bizarre, because they're not even going to go through it. They are simply going to get to a stage as the ascension process keeps evolving and this crystalline grid keeps anchoring in, that the younger generations plus the people who are here, who remain here on planet Earth, as time goes by, one thing is going to replace the other. So because those people, certain souls, humanoids that are at different soul paths, they are not experiencing all of this that I have talked about, but eventually they will have a template that they will follow. Just like, for example, like 3 decades ago in Europe, yoga or meditation or the ancient ancestral philosophies and ways of living, even like alternative medicine coming from the East, that was totally unknown. And now it's almost like there's a hype of, you don't do yoga, you don't do meditation, like it's do you actually do it just because it's a trend or because most of your friends do it, or are you actually connected to the purity of what it means to do it? And do you follow your body and your soul and your calling to do it? So in essence, what we are creating as bringers of the change, and let's add some humor to this whole equation, because why not? Life is already, we're under so much pressure. Like I was saying, we're like a diamond, we're being pressurized to the extreme max. So let's just have some fun and release tension that way. So these other waves that are more accustomed to simply follow the trend or follow the other sheep, they're just gonna do that because now we're homeschooling, now we're yoging, we're doing yoga, now what's the trend now? We're walking barefoot, and they won't even stop to think or remember or acknowledge or even say sorry for the huge amount of pressure that they have been putting onto the other layers of the soul ascensional path, being us, the trailblazers who are here at the forefront, experiencing the extreme amount of pressure from the external world, who is still anchored in the older ways of thinking and being. And so they're resisting, they're still holding on to the old earth patterns, as they're seeing that something is happening, they're not understanding, things are collapsing, truths are coming out, those truths that we already knew and sensed for a long time, and now we breathe, finally they're coming out to the surface. But for these other people, and there's no judgment and there's no separation, we're all one, we're just living this at many different levels of consciousness, right? So God in itself is living this whole level of expansion and coming back into unity at very different levels. So they are the ones putting this much pressure onto the ones who are actually saving them. How hilarious. And so there's even no point in going there, because they just can't understand. They can't even see how they're putting that pressure onto the new order which is being established. But it's taking a lot, because without that external pressure it would be so much easier, you know. So anyways, just a heads up, in case anyone is looking for solutions, answers, or what's going on in the cosmos, what's going on within me. You're not crazy, you're not, you know, loopy-doody. You're simply going through the process of ascension at your own pace, at your own level, and hanging on to this wild, crazy ride, which we put our hands up for, and which, you know, thankfully it's already happening. Like it really is already happening. The new earth is upon us. We're actually creating it. We're a part of it. It's just that, you know, the roller coaster has people who are throwing, you know, tomatoes and eggs at the people who are in the roller coaster, going, wait a second, we're actually part of the ones who are teaming up to put love, to put high vibration, to anchor in the crystalline grid in this planet Earth. Why are you doing this to yourself? So anyways, just a bit of humor for your day. This is Mia Stara. I am hoping that this has been helpful, and just shed the light wherever you go, even within yourself. The truths are all coming out, and the truth shall set you free. Be the welcoming soul that you are and that you came here to be, and know that you are loved, know that you are needed, know that you are worthy, know that you are valuable, know that your mission is important. Why? Because you're not doing this for you, you're doing this for God. God-sent mission. You are in God-sent mission, you are in God's hands, and you can resist as much as you want to, but it's only going to make it harder. So why not enjoy the ride as much as you can? Ask for prayers, invoke yourself in prayers, cloak yourself with love and with other high vibrational people out there. We are out there. Well, in fact, we are hidden, but we are coming out there. And yeah, so much love.